Hello friends, in this video we are going to see types of fluid flow. So there are 5 different types of fluid flow we have to study in kinematics. So the first one is your steady and unsteady flow. Second one is your uniform and non-uniform flow. So it's very easy to define steady and unsteady flow. The definitions are clear, but many times students are confused between steady and unsteady and uniform and non-uniform flow. So in this topic we are going to see very clear definition and example also, so that you can easily differentiate between steady flow and uniform and non-uniform flow. Then laminar and turbulent flow is also very important, and I want to tell you about this particular topic number 3. Laminar and turbulent flow is also a separate chapter, so we are going to discuss in detail in chapter 7 and chapter 8. Laminar flow and turbulent flow, these both are separate chapters. Here only we are going to see the simple definition and characteristics of laminar and turbulent flow. Fourth one is compressible and incompressible flow, and fifth one, most important because we have numerical from this section, that is rotational and irrotational flow. So let's go and see in detail one by one each and every type of fluid flow. The first one is your steady and unsteady flow. So let us define steady flow. It is the type of flow in which the fluid characteristics, or you can say properties, like pressure, fluid characteristics or properties like pressure, density, velocity, etc. do not change at any point with respect to time. This word is very important, time, and do not change, very important, at any point. Okay, do not change at any point with respect to time. So first of all, steady means it is not changing with respect to time. Do not change. First of all, it should not change at any point with respect to time. Steady means with respect to time, but the point word is also very important. Okay, what is the valid expression here? Dou v by dou t, x naught, y naught, z naught is a fixed point. So change of velocity with time is 0. That means there is no change. That is what it is defining steady flow. Dou rho by dou t, x naught, y naught, z naught. The change of density with respect to time at any fixed point, x naught, y naught, z naught is 0. It is also defining steady flow. These are the two mathematical equations expressing steady flow. What can be the valid example for your steady flow? Liquid efflux. Efflux means coming out. Liquid coming out from a vessel in which constant level is maintained. Correct? So what happens here? Suppose there is a bottle. I'm drawing a diagram. You can see here. Suppose I'm having a bottle here or container. Okay. So this bottle is filled with the water. This bottle is completely filled with the water. Okay. This bottle is completely filled with the water. This bottle is completely filled with the water. This bottle is completely filled with the water, and you are going to make a small hole at the bottom, right? Let us say I'm making a hole here so that water can come out. So what will happen? At this point initially, the bottle is filled with the water. So when you make a hole, the water will come out with a high velocity, correct? Water will come out with initially the water will come out with a high velocity, correct? So we know the discharge formula, discharge equal to area into velocity. The velocity is higher, your discharge will be higher for a constant area, right? So area is constant, we are not changing area. So initially the velocity will come out with the velocity will very high, but as the level of water comes down, the velocity keeps on decreasing, you know that, and finally it will become 0. Let us say it will take 1 minute of time, 60 seconds. So in 60 seconds, the velocity is changing or not? Correct, the velocity is changing. So it is called as unsteady flow. So if you want to make it steady, what you can do, you can keep on adding water from the top actually. You can keep on adding water from the top so that the level, this level is maintained constant. This level is maintained constant So the velocity will be also remains constant. So when the velocity is constant with respect to time, it is not changing, then it is called a steady flow. That is the example mentioned here. Liquid efflux from a vessel in which constant level is maintained. Look at this diagram. This is the flow of fluid inside the pipe, and this is the parabolic velocity profile. You know that in the pipe, whenever there is a flow, we are having a parabolic velocity profile, and at the center we are having the maximum velocity, and at the wall it is 0, v equal to 0. So what it is showing here in the curve, velocity versus time, you can see here, this is time, t small t time, and v is the velocity. So what is mentioning here, you can see the velocity is constant with the time. Look at this curve, horizontal line, the velocity is constant with the time. So I can see definitely it is a representing steady flow. Velocity is not changing with respect to time. That is only steady flow. Correct? Understood? So this is steady flow. We'll go and see the unsteady flow in the next page. It is the type of flow, unsteady flow. Look at this definition. It is the type of flow in which the fluid characteristics such as pressure, density, velocity, etc. changes. Very important word. Changes with respect to time. Correct? So at any given point x naught, y naught, z naught, dou v by dou t here now it is not equal to 0. Correct? Look at this important equation. It is not equal to 0. Earlier it was equal to 0. Not equal to 0 means some value is there. That means it is changing. Same way here, dou rho by dou t at x naught, y naught, z naught is not equal to 0. That means it is changing with respect to time. Example already we have seen. Liquid falling under gravity out of an opening in the bottom of vessel. So any vessel is there, if liquid falling under gravity out of an opening in the bottom of the vessel, so definitely the velocity will keep on changing by the time. So that is a good example of unsteady flow. So you can see here also, this is the velocity u and time t. So what happens here? Look at the u2 first of all. U2, this is your u2. What is written here? Steady flow, speed through area integration. So what you can see, this line represents a horizontal line, straight line. So velocity is constant, right? U2 is constant, it's not changing with time. So this is the example of steady flow, and that is obtained through some integration method. We'll discuss later. Unsteady flow. Now you can see for the U1. U1 is the velocity. You can see first it is increasing, reaching to the maximum here, and then again it is decreasing. So by the time changes, the velocity also keeps on changing. So this is a good example of unsteady flow. Okay. So now let us go and see uniform and non-uniform flow. Then we can discuss what is the difference between steady and unsteady and uniform non-uniform flow altogether. Okay. So uniform and non-uniform flow. First of all, your uniform flow. It is the type of flow in which the flow parameters like velocity, viscosity, all properties, density, pressure, temperature, etc. do not change. Uniform is do not change with respect to time. That is length of direction of flow also you can say. If it is a one-dimensional flow, so you can say length of direction of flow. Okay. So length of direction flow also you can say if it is a one-directional flow. Dou v by dou t, dou v by dou s at t constant, but here the time is constant. Earlier the point was constant, right? Now change of velocity with respect to space. S is space. Space means coordinates like x, y, z. If it is a one-dimensional, it is only called as x coordinate. At any constant time equal to 0. That means the change of there should not be any change of velocity with respect to coordinate. That means if you are looking at one coordinate and another coordinate at the same time, the velocity should be same. Then it is called as uniform flow. Example: flow between two parallel plates. Example is your flow between two parallel plates. You can see here uniform flow. So streamlines are straight and parallel, and change of velocity vs with respect to space dou s is 0. That is a good example of uniform flow. Now let us see non-uniform flow. It is the type of flow in which the flow parameters like velocity, viscosity, density, pressure, temperature, etc. changes. This is the word, changes with respect to space at any given time. Correct? So change of velocity with space at time constant is not equal to 0. That means change is there. Example, converging flow. You can see converging flow. What happens in a converging flow? Your velocity increases and pressure comes down. Correct? Your velocity increases and pressure comes down. Correct? So converging flow, velocity is decreasing. That means from here to here, coordinate I am changing. Let us say I am taking section 1 and this is section 2. Correct? At the same time, can you tell me that at the same time interval or same instant of time, velocity at 1 v1, velocity at 1 is your v1 and velocity at 2 is v2. v1 is equal to v2, can I say at the same instant of time? No, because it is a converging flow, velocity increases. So v1 and v2 will not be same, it will be different. Correct? So that's why dou v by dou s t constant not equal to 0. Example is converging flow. Another example is diverging flow or vortex flow. And one more thing, velocity is a vector quantity. Velocity is a vector quantity. So when you talk about the vector quantity, you are having magnitude plus direction both. We are having magnitude plus direction both. So either magnitude or direction is changing, we can say velocity is changing. In case of vortex flow, if you see, in case of vortex flow, if you see, so what happens in a vortex flow? Your velocity may be constant, RPM is constant, but what happens? The direction keeps on changing. The direction keeps on changing every point, right? So I can say in vortex flow, it is also a good example of non-uniform flow, okay? Because of change in direction, non-uniform flow. Please remember the examples. In the interview, they can ask you these questions. Yes. Now, before going to the next one, we'll just try to understand the difference between steady and unsteady, steady and unsteady, and uniform, non-uniform flow altogether. Okay. So I'm taking a pipe here. I'm taking a pipe, and then we'll explain you the difference between the steady and unsteady flow. Okay. And I will take two sections. I'll take two sections here. One section is here, and another section is here. Okay. Now let us see. The fluid is entering into the pipe and exiting the pipe at this section. This is section 1. This is section 2. This is section 2. Okay, now at t equal to 0, the fluid is entering into the pipe. T equal to 5, that is 5 seconds, fluid reaches to this point. T equal to 10 seconds, fluid reaches to this point, and then the fluid continues. And the fluid continues to flow in the pipe. So what I want to say, t equal to 5 seconds, let us take two parameters. Let us take two parameters. At t equal to 5 seconds, your V1 is equal to 2 meter per second, and your temperature T1 equal to 30 degrees centigrade. Correct? I'm just taking two parameters here. So I'm standing at section 1 only. So because the fluid is continued here, it continues to flow in this direction. So after 5 seconds, that means t equal to 5 seconds, fluid velocity, that is V1 T1. V1 T1 is your 2 meter per second, and T1 is a 30 degree centigrade. So after 5 seconds more, the fluid will reaches to the section 2. Correct? But some new fluid particle will also come to the section 1. Correct? So at t equal to 10 seconds, with the change in time, I want to find the velocity at this section. Let us say V1 dash is equal to 2 meter per second, I am writing, and V1 equal to 2 meter per second, and T1 equal to 30 degrees centigrade. That means what I can see, with the change in time from 5 seconds, t equal to 5 seconds, to t equal to 10 seconds, the velocity at section 1, 2 meter per second and 30 degrees centigrade temperature is not changing. With the change in time from 5 to 10 seconds, the velocities temperature are not changing at this section, correct, at this section. So I can say that definitely the velocity is constant, temperature is constant, so it is a steady flow. It is a steady flow because with the change in time from 5 seconds to 10 seconds, the parameters are not changing, so it is a good example of steady flow. Suppose if there is a change, temperature is not equal to 30 degrees centigrade, it is equal to, suppose it is equal to 20 degrees centigrade, 40 degrees centigrade, suppose, then if any one property is changed, then it is called as unsteady flow. Now, in the same diagram, we'll understand first of all uniform flow. In uniform flow, okay. So at t equal to 10 seconds, just now we have seen t equal to 10 seconds. Yeah, 1 second. At t equal to 10 seconds in the section 1, we have seen the velocity v1 dash equal to 2 meter per second, t1 dash 30 degrees centigrade. At t equal to 10 second, at section 1 and section 2 we are comparing. Let us say at t equal to 10 second in section 2, the velocity v2 is your 2 meter per second. Velocity v2 is a 2 meter per second, and temperature t2 is equal to 30 degrees centigrade. So what we can see, at t equal to 10 second here and at t equal to 10 second here, the velocities and temperature both are not changing. The properties are not changing. 2 meter per second here also, 2 meter per second here also. Temperature is also same, 30 degrees centigrade. Okay, temperature is also same here, 30 degrees centigrade. It's not changing. So I can say definitely it is a uniform flow because we are taking the same instant of time, t equal to 10 seconds. The properties are not changing, so it is called as uniform flow. Suppose any one property is changing, T2 not equal to 30 degrees centigrade, it is 20 degree, 15 degrees centigrade, then it is called as non-uniform flow. Understood the difference between uniform and steady flow? So one common thing I want to tell you, very important thing to remember and distinguish between these two types of flow. I'm writing here on the top right, correct? If you talk about the steady flow, we have single time interval, I mean single section, one section or one point, single section or point, correct? And two time interval, like 5 second to 10 second, two time interval, correct? And but in case of uniform flow, we are having two section. Now look at the difference. We are having two section or point and single time interval, correct? Look at this, single time interval. That is t equal to 10 seconds. That is the major difference between steady and uniform flow. So in steady flow, we have one section and two time interval. In uniform flow, we have two section and one time interval, correct? Once again, I want to repeat. In case of steady flow, we are having one section and two time interval, correct? You can see here one section and two time interval. But in case of uniform flow, we are having two section and one time interval. Okay, I hope now it is clear. We'll go to the next slide for the next type of flow, laminar and turbulent flow. Now look at this laminar flow. It is a type of flow in which the flow particles move along well-defined, very important, arranged, well-defined paths or streamlines. Correct? Well-defined paths or streamlines. All the streamlines are straight and parallel. So all these you can see, these are the streamlines. All the streamlines are straight and parallel. You can see. Laminar flow is also called as streamline flow. Very, very. What is the other name of laminar flow, streamline flow, or viscous flow? All the streamlines are straight and parallel, and laminar flow can also be called as streamline or viscous flow. And particles move in a well-defined, arranged path, you can say, or streamlines. This is a good example of laminar flow. You can see there is a spherical ball here, and the flow is how it is going over the spherical ball on the top and bottom. and this is shown here by streamlines, which is like a laminar flow. Example is given, flow in a smooth pipe with low velocity. One example is also given, flow in a smooth pipe. A smooth pipe means the friction will be less with low velocity. Very, very important. Low velocity is very important for laminar flow and high viscosity. Correct. You know that when your viscosity will be high, then your velocity will be low. So these two things are required for having flow like a laminar pattern inside the pipe. We'll go and see the next one, turbulent flow. It is the type of flow in which the flow particles move in a zigzag way. Zigzag means random. Zigzag means random, no particular direction. Zigzag way, eddies formation takes place and in high energy loss occurs. What are eddies? These are eddies. Look at this. These are eddies. Eddies formation takes place and high loss of energy occurs because the flow is separating from the surface. The boundary layer separation takes place. Boundary layer separation is always associated with the high loss of energy. Very, very important line. Boundary layer separation is always, so you can see these all are the separation. These all are the separation. Boundary layer separation is always associated with the loss of energy. Correct. Example is flow in rivers or canals. It's a good example of turbulent flow. Note, but how you'll come to know that whether the flow is laminar or turbulent? This is a note here. For a pipe flow, this is pipe, only for a pipe, very important. For a pipe flow, the type of flow is determined by Reynolds number. What is Reynolds number? Rho Vd by mu or Vd by nu. This formula is only valid for pipe. Very, very important. This formula is only valid for pipe because diameter is there. V equal to average velocity and D is the diameter of the pipe. Laminar flow, Re less than 2000, Reynolds number less than 2000, then it is called laminar flow. Reynolds number greater than 4000, then it is called as turbulent flow. And for transition flow, Reynolds number should be greater than 2000 and should be less than 4000. Okay. And what is important here, I want to tell you, in the equation Reynolds number equal to rho Vd by mu, this V velocity is very important actually, and this V is your average velocity. Always average velocity you have to take. Okay. Next, compressible and incompressible flow. So compressible flow, look at the definition. It is a type of flow in which the density of the fluid changes from point to point. So that means rho is not constant. Example, gases. Gases are readily compressible, easily compressible. Look at the figure given below. Compressible fluid, you can see pressure is P1 and here pressure is P2. So applying this pressure, P1 is here. With the applying pressure P2, let us say P2 is more, the fluid is compressed. You can see the volume is decreased. Look at this V1 and V2, volume is decreased. So it is compressible fluid. But you are applying different pressure P1 and P2, but there is no change in the volume. Volume is constant, V equal to C. So that is a good example of incompressible fluid. What is the incompressible fluid? Liquids. Liquids are generally considered as incompressibles. Incompressible flow definition here. It is a type of flow in which the density of the fluid remains constant. Density remains constant. Rho is constant. Example is liquid. Okay. Now we'll go to the next one, the last type of flow, that is rotational and irrotational flow. Rotational flow, first of all, the fluid particles while flowing along the streamlines also rotate about their own axis. Very important. Also rotate about their own axis. Very important. I can give you a very good example here. You know the rotation of the earth around the sun, correct? So what happened? Earth revolves around the sun, right? So suppose this is the sun here, correct? This is the sun here, and on this orbit the earth rotates. This is your earth. Okay, so earth rotates. So what happened here? So earth revolves around the sun once in a year. Earth revolves around the sun once in a year, but at the same time earth also rotates about their own axis. That's why we are having day and night, correct? So same type of feature we are having for rotational flow. I will draw the diagram. Let us say this is the fluid particle. This is the fluid particle. So I will draw the axis like A, B point, C point, and D point. Rotational flow means, so A point will move to here, B is here, C and D. In the next case, A will move to here, B here, C and D, like this. So it keeps on rotating. This is the good example of rotational flow you can see here. The fluid particles, while flowing along the streamlines, any path the fluid is flowing like this, let us say, it also rotates about their own axis. It also rotates about their own axis. That is called a good example of rotational flow. If the fluid particle is not rotating, then it is called as irrotational flow. If the fluid particles, look at this irrotational flow, the fluid particles while flowing along the streamlines do not rotate about their own axis, that's called irrotational flow. Good example of irrotational flow, you can see the square, simply it is moving, but here it also rotating about their axis. So I can also draw a diagram of irrotational flow. You can see, like I am drawing A here. Yeah, if I will write A here, so A should be, if it is rotating, then A should be changed to another 90 degrees. So look at this A position, A is not changing. So this is a good example of irrotational flow. Good example of irrotational flow, correct? And if it is rotating, it's a good example of rotational flow. I hope you have understood what is rotational and irrotational flow. Now, this is very important because we are having numerical from this rotational vector omega. Just like velocity and acceleration vector, we are also having omega vector. Omega vector is equal to omega x I cap, omega y j cap, and omega z k cap. Omega x I cap, omega y j cap, and omega z k cap. So if you want to find the magnitude of omega, it's root under of omega x square, omega y square, omega z square. And then what is omega x? The question is, what is omega x? If you want to find the omega x, I can tell you one logic here to remember the formula of omega x. I will write here. Omega x equal to, you can compare also, half. You just write down this particular equation, dou by dou minus of dou by dou, omega x. Omega y also you write down half of dou by dou minus of dou by dou, bracket close, and z. These things are common in all the formula, you can see and compare. Okay, now I have to write the partial differentiation. You have to fill the place on the numerator and denominator on both sides. What I will do, we are having a logic here. What is the logic here? We'll write the x, y, z in cyclic order. We'll write the x, y, z in cyclic order. So let us say I'm writing x here, and then y here, and then z here. Cyclic order. So this is the direction after x, y, and then z. Please remember this very important formula. So let us make this direction. X, y, z we are moving. So whenever you are writing omega x, correct, x. When you are writing omega x, so after x, what is there? Y. You write down y here in the denominator, and then z here in the denominator. What is the velocity component to y direction? Sir, v. So v you write in the cross direction, v here, and z velocity component in the z direction is w. So w will be here. Same we will fill in the next one. Y is here. After y we are having z, and after z we are having x. What is x component? U, and z component w, like this. Z is there. After z we are having x, and then y. What is y component? V, sir. X component u. That's all completed. You can see all the three formulas are same, which I mentioned here in the x, y, z direction. Okay. So thank you. This is all about your types of fluid flow. Thank you.